Hello, everyone, and welcome to 0 to 0, a pointless football podcast for fans and non-fans alike. Where we pit someone who knows some football, that would be me, Fixxxer, against someone who knows absolutely nothing about football, but could talk for about 13 minutes and 27 seconds about how a fight would go between the Vikings and the Eagles. And that
Ooh, did you time it? Did you time it?
No, I pulled that number completely out of my ass.
That's sad. Rejoice! I bet it was not 13 minutes. You're just mean.
It was probably half that.
Yeah. Giddy up.
All right. Oh, hold on. Did we total last week's scores? I think I did. How did we do? Uh-oh.
No.
I think you had 11 points, Tulkas.
Ooh, look at me. Did I beat you?
You did. You had 11. You were 11 and 5? Or no, 11 and 4? And I was 10 and 5.
Oh!
Like that.
So how does that make you feel, Fixxxer TV? All your precious game knowledge goes out the window. Haha!
I'm still winning on the season. I feel pretty fine about it.
Yeah, but I won a week. And that's more than I expected.
All right, let's get started on this week. The buys we have for this week would be Green Bay, Oakland, Pittsburgh, and Seattle. They are not playing a game. They'll return the following week. How do you feel about that?
Ooh, Oakland and Seattle. That's fun. That's sad. Oh no, that's sad. Are you happy or sad about this buy?
Oh, I feel fantastic. Let's get started with the Thursday night game. The Denver Broncos are playing at the Arizona Cardinals. Case Keenum and the Broncos put up a decent fight against the Rams, but they fell short. Their defense is playing well against the pass, but they seem to be getting dismantled on the ground as Gurley ran for 200 yards on them. Like a beast. The Cardinals also put up a decent fight against the Vikings. David Johnson was shut down. I'm telling you, this offensive line isn't as bad as they're playing. Same thing with Johnson. I feel like there's a coaching problem going on here, so don't be surprised to see a change sometime in the near future. The Cardinals defense can get after the QB, but Keenum is better than Kirk Cousins at avoiding sacks. Either Johnson has his breakout game, or Denver's run defense finally shows up. One of the two's got to happen. Something's got to give. I think I'm going to go with the Broncos to win.
What is a sack?
A sack is when a defender tackles the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage.
What is a scrimmage?
This line of scrimmage is the line that goes across the field where the football is sitting. That's the territory line. It divides our side from your side.
Oh, okay, so it's like the middle line, and then there's like a defense guy tackling a court. I don't really get it, but okay.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something there, but anyway, yeah, it's pretty chaotic. I mean, we have the Broncos bucking around and the Cardinals whizzing around, and you know, I don't know. I don't know. Fix the TV. I don't know. Do you know? You do know, but yeah. So I'm going to give this one to Diesel's pick just because I have no idea what could happen.
You're going to phone a friend on the first game of the...
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just be careful, though, because this is tonight's game.
Yeah.
So he might not see this in time.
I know. I've already messaged him in Discord asking him to choose.
Oh, okay. You know that the game he chose for you last week, he ended up being wrong and cost you a point.
Yeah, I believe in my Diesel man. I mean... It's only through his patronage that I have managed to rise and triumph this past week. So yeah, but if Diesel does not pick in time, I guess I'll go with the Cardinals just for Hoosier pride and whatnot.
All right, next up, the Minnesota Vikings are playing at the New York Jets. The Vikings took care of business against a team they should have beat anyways. They got a rough run of games after the Jets, so they better not be looking forward to dismissing a Jets team that's been better than expected this year. They don't want a repeat of the Bills game. So they lost Mike Hughes to an ACL tear at the exact same spot on the field that Cook tore his ACL last year. The 27-yard line. It seems to be an unlucky number for them.
Ooh.
And not only that, not only is the 27-yard line apparently a curse for the Vikings, they have a player on their team, Tulkas, named Javon Curse, whose number is 27. How do you feel about that?
I don't know what happened. So I don't know what you just said. I'm sorry.
All right. Thielen extended his 100-yard game streak and is one away from the all-time record. Darnold has been putting up some decent numbers. He's still making mistakes, but he's a rookie. Got to cut him a little bit of slack, I guess. While they beat the Colts last week, it was mostly on their offense and not defense. They didn't get much pressure on Luck, and the Vikings are A-okay with that. I think the Vikings will win as long as Kirk Cousins doesn't turn the ball over, and he may do just that. But Vikings win.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Jets didn't have good defense. I mean, they're flying over the streets, launching like missiles and bullets at the Colts as they're running through the narrow funnels of New York City. They don't have to worry about defense. What are the Colts going to do? Like jump up and land on the... You don't make any sense to me sometimes, Fixxxer TV. But I predict that the Viking longboats will make easy targets sailing up the Hudson. You know, they're going to try to fire... It's going to be like that you know, the Avatar movie, not the Last Airbender, but the James Cameron one?
Yeah.
Well, there's a scene where like the Na'vi, indigenous people, are like opening fire on like the assault jet flying thingies, and they don't do a lot. I think it'll be like that. Like the Viking longboats are going to like throw a spear or whatever, but then they'll just get blasted out of the ocean. So Jets win quite handily.
Oh, wow. All right, gotta put that in the spreadsheet.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Next up, the New England Patriots are playing at the Chicago Bears. People were all aboard the Bears bandwagon, but remember, people picked them to finish last in the NFC North. Yeah, they look better, and they have Khalil Mack, but they still have a bit to go, as evidenced by their loss to Miami and Brock freaking Lobster. The Patriots, they beat the Chiefs 43-40, and I called it. I'd like to point that out, Tulkas.
You called that the Patriots would beat the Chiefs?
Yep. Brady even rushed for a touchdown. The key for the Bears here will be Mack getting to Brady. If he can put Brady on his back and cause a fumble or two, I think the Bears can pull out a win here. But I'm going to go with the Patriots.
The Patriots sound like a cereal. Yeah. What is the NFC North thing?
That is, so the league is divided into divisions, and the NFC North consists of the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. That basically means, long story short, they play each other twice during the season, and they play the other teams only once.
Giddy up.
It's to encourage rivalries.
Ooh, encourage Whoa.
Well, that's the romanticized version. The real version is probably it's cheaper on travel time.
Ooh, Fixxxer TV. Will you be my rival?
We already are rivals. What are you talking about?
Okay, so that's romantic. You said it was romantic to be a rival. So you're my romantic rival. Okay, so according to blackbearinfo.com/history, early American settlers found black bears in abundance when they arrived, but the bears represented more than a food source to early pioneers. Settlers brought with them European perceptions and behaviors. Wilderness was viewed as threatening, as were the wild animals living in it.
Whoa. Do you think people can follow if you're talking this fast?
Well, if I talk slower, you'll yell at me for taking too long.
Find a happy middle ground.
Okay, bounties placed on predators became common, such as the 1 penny bounty for a dead wolf in Massachusetts Bay Colony. To the settlers, bears posed threats to their families' livestock, crops, and future. This attitude surfaced in Popular Nature book of that time, which showed animals such as bears attacking hunters or eagles flying off with children. Settlers did not just kill bears with their guns. Cutting, burning, and clearing changed the wood and land into open farm, fields, and pasture. This wave of humans expanded. Black bears lost much of their native habitat, restricting their populations to some of the more mountainous, swampy, and rugged regions of North America. And is Chicago mountainous, swampy, and rugged? No. So the Patriots are going to go to Chicago, and they're going to drive out the black bears. Patriots win.
So they drew pictures of eagles flying off with children?
Yeah, apparently.
Huh? That's good to know for a future pick, perhaps, maybe.
Indeed. Ooh.
All right, next up, the Detroit Lions are playing at the Miami Dolphins. Brock Lobster and the Dolphins beat the Bears. He put up 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Their offensive line seems to be playing well, as they allowed 0 sacks, and they helped Frank Gore get 100 yards, despite being 1,000 years old. The Lions are coming off a bye week, so they had some time to prepare for the surprising Dolphins team that's 4-2. I can't find myself picking a team led by Osweiler. I just can't do it, Tulkas. Gore will probably have another good game here. The Lions need Kerryon Johnson to have a good game in order to win. They haven't really figured out how to get Kerryon Johnson going yet. I think they eventually will, but I don't know if it'll be this game. Who knows? They just seem not to know what to do with him. But I'm going to do it. I feel dirty picking Brock Lobster, but the Dolphins are going to beat the Lions.
That's pretty exciting. My boy Al Gore is conspiring with the Dolphins to make sea levels rise so they can gain more territory at the expense of the Lions. Do you see the conspiracy here, Fixxxer?
Al Gore or Frank Gore?
Yeah, Frank Al Gore, same guy.
Okay.
Isn't that fun? And he was almost president, and now he's it's all interconnected. It's like the politics canon and the NFL canon have joined forces to destroy the planet. Isn't that fun, Fixxxer TV?
Well, they've already did that. We talked about how Trump wanted to buy the Bills, and the NFL told them to screw off.
Ooh, make America great again! Woo! Anyway, according to AnimalPlanet.com, lions are not known as swimmers in the sense that they don't do it daily. They're not like tigers, which love to go into the water to cool down. But when they're faced with the river, they will cross it if they need to. It's something that does not happen very regularly, except when you have them in an environment like the Okavango Delta, where they have a habitat with a large part of water that they need to cross to move around. So it's clear that the lions, unlike the bears and the tigers, will not feel comfortable moving around in the oceans of Miami. They can do it, but they won't be in their element. They won't be comfortable. And to win in a battle, you have to be comfortable. So for that reason, I feel like the Dolphins will win.
Fair enough. The Carolina Panthers, early Sunday game at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles won on Thursday night against the Giants as expected. They had no real answer to Saquon Barkley, though. Carson Wentz had 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's having a great season, and not many people seem to be noticing that. The Panthers, they lost to the Redskins last week, and Cam Newton is once again their leading rusher. Other than one game against the Bengals, McCaffrey is having a pretty soft season. I don't think the Panthers can survive on this. You can't have Cam Newton leading your team every game in rushing yards. And they're not going to be able to do much against the Eagles if they carry on with that. Eagles win.
Okay, so according to a random dude on Quora.com.
Wait a minute, Quora.com? What exactly did you search on Google to get to Quora.com for this?
Do Panthers eat eagles?
Okay, all right, I'll allow it. Proceed.
What?
I'll allow your reasoning here and diving into something like Quora.com for information.
Okay, what's wrong with Quora.com?
It's a very awkward website where people never really cite their sources.
Oh, well, you never cite your sources.
That's very true. I'm not pretending to be serious, though.
What we have here is a classic bird versus cat battle. Cats and birds have been crossing paths for millennia, and the cat has been winning and eating the bird for millennia. Yes, eagles have attacked wolves and deer and things like that. We've all seen the YouTube videos. Have you seen the YouTube videos?
Don't forget children.
Yeah, I haven't seen the YouTube videos, but apparently there are YouTube videos. But felines are different. A big cat is not a deer or a wolf. They have shredding, sharp claws. They are flexible. They are fast. Before an eagle would be able to fully use its one single weapon, its talons, the big cat would have already spun around or flipped over or raked its back leg through the chest of the eagle or snapped its wing in any number of ways. And it hasn't even bitten yet, Fixxxer. It hasn't even bitten yet. So what you're asking is, how would an eagle fare against a leopard, jaguar, or cougar? Same result for any of those, but whatever. No eagle win today or ever. So it seems that a random dude is quite confident. Now the question is, how much do we trust random dude on Quora.com. What do you think, Fixxxer TV?
If I were Tulkas, I would trust him a lot.
Okay. So, Panthers win.
Lovely. Cleveland Browns at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jameis Winston had 400 yards, along with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, a couple of fumbles as well. And they lost to a struggling Falcons team. The Browns defense finally faced a formidable foe in the Chargers and lost 38-14. They got rocked on the ground and struggled to protect Mayfield. The buns? What? The buns? Did you change? You changed it on me, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I did not change it. I did not change it.
The Browns don't have much of a running game. Winston is turnover prone, and the Browns have the best turnover ratio in the NFL. Look for that to be a difference maker in this game. Browns win.
You can look at the edit history of this, can't you?
I'm just going to assume that you changed it, and we'll move on.
Well, I didn't do it, and Diesel trusts me more than he trusts you, so there.
Well, I'll go to Quora.com and find the real answer.
Giddy up. What is turnover?
That's when you give up the ball when you're not wanting to the other team. Like dropping it on the ground accidentally.
Well, that's something.
Yeah, your boy Winston, he has a tendency to do that.
Well, that's not very... Oh, so he's just like me! If I was in the NFL, I would drop the ball all the time. It would be fun. So Browns versus Buccaneers. I'm going to say that if Diesel doesn't pick the Cardinal versus Broncos game in time, this can be Diesel's pick. So, tentative Diesel. But if he doesn't, then I don't know. Browns versus Buccaneers. This is really difficult.
And it's being played in Tampa Bay.
Yeah. So Winston is what team?
Which, by the way, I believe is the only football team that is not named after a city or state, if I remember correctly. Because Tampa is the name of the city. Tampa Bay is the body of water outside the city.
Ooh, that's fun. So, which team is Winston on, my boy? Winston
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, so he's on the Buccaneers, and he's gonna drop the thing, and then once the brown ball hits the ground, it will be covered in the brownness of the dirt. It will rush up and consume the ball, and then take it underground, and then move it.
That's sounding like a stretch, but continue.
Well, I mean, it's brown. The Browns do the brown. I don't know, maybe. I mean, you can't be a buccaneer and drop things. I mean, buccaneers are fighting on the high seas, being dueling, like Captain Jack Sparrow. Imagine if Captain Jack Sparrow, whatever. We'll just say that the Browns are going to win, whatever.
All right. Cleveland Browns win. Got it. Next up, we have the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars got rocked hard by the Cowboys 40-7 last week. Giving up 40 points to the Cowboys team is pretty bad on its own. They signed Jamal Charles to help with their weak running game, but he had 5 rushes for 5 yards. Maybe he's a little bit rusty, he's a little bit old, who knows. But they sure got exposed, and other teams will be excited to learn from this tape, that's for sure. The Texans, they beat the Bills last week. It wasn't an exciting game by any measure. Watson had 170 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He put the ball on the ground 3 times. Those are turnovers, by the way. Their offensive line may be the worst in the league again. Expect the Jaguars defense to bounce back against the Texans. Jags win, probably in a blowout. I guess the one wild card here may be J.J. Watt. He might eat Bortles for breakfast. So,
yum, 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 yum.
I'm going with Jacksonville.
Yeah, so I was watching The Good Place, as I said again, and apparently the judge, the all-knowing, all-powerful judge of the universe, was the Jacksonville Jaguars, like the actions in the show, changed events into a new timeline where the Jacksonville Jaguars were good, and Blake Bortles, my boy, was okay. That's pretty cool. So, according to the all-knowing judge of the universe, the Jags are okay. And according to Fixxxer, he's very confident they'll win. And, we don't really trust Fixxxer, but he is a Southron. So I guess we're going to go with the Jaguars. I mean, what are the Texans going to do? I mean, you're a Texan. Imagine Fixxxer is locked in a room with a Jaguar. Who's going to win?
I'm not an actual Texan, so I couldn't answer that.
You are an actual Texan. You've lived in Texas your whole life. That whole with Michigan thing is just a scam. The Jaguars win.
All right, next up, the Buffalo Bills are playing at the Indianapolis Colts. Josh Allen was injured and replaced by Nathan Peterman, who ended up going 6 of 12 for 61 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. How this dude still has a job, I have no idea. Well, maybe he doesn't. He's not starting this week. They pulled him already. Derek Anderson is expected to start. And Derek Anderson is old, and he's thrown some stinkers in the past. I wouldn't be terribly excited, but he's better than Peterman, so who knows. Despite losing to the Texans, their pass defense seems to be playing pretty well. Going to have their hands full with Andrew Luck, though, this week. He had 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions against the Jets. They ran the ball fairly well, too. I would expect Luck to have a similar game against the Bills. A ton of yards, some touchdowns, probably a few interceptions. They're much better than their 1-5 record suggests, I think, and they will win. Colts win.
Wait, the Colts are 1-5?
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Despite you picking them every week, they're 1-5.
That's awful. Fixxxer TV at youtube.com/Fixxxer. But they're Hoosiers. It's like they're me. Are you saying that I'm 1-5?
Maybe because they're not natural born Hoosiers.
Ooh, they're not true born.
Nope, they used to be from another state, in fact.
Ooh, I don't know, but we Hoosiers have welcomed them. Do you know how much tax I had to pay to get the Lucas Oil Stadium funded? There was so much tax. It's not fair.
Yeah, I believe it.
Well, it pains me to root against my beloved fatherland, especially when Fixxxer TV is doing the opposite. But I mean, Buffalo Bills, they tame horses and then ride on the horses to hunt the buffalo. Like, this isn't even their primary battle. They just ride the horses. Like, how are the horses fighting? Are the horses going to tame the Bills? Will the Colts be riding around on Buffalo Bills now? Is that what you're thinking? No, the Buffalo Bills have to win. I'm sorry, Andrew Luck. I'm sorry.
Lovely. Sunday afternoon games. New Orleans Saints are playing at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens defense keep bringing the heat as they shut out the Titans 21-0 last week. They sacked Mariota 11 times. 11! They got a much tougher team to face than the Saints, though. The Saints' offensive line is playing quite well. They're leading the league in quarterback hits allowed and allowing just 8 sacks total. It's going to be a fun matchup there. Do the Ravens have the answer to this high-powered offense? We're going to find out. They might. I don't know, but I'm going with the Saints for now.
Okay, so I tried to find out what was the patron saint of the Raven, but there's a lot of them. So we're just going to go down the list. There's Adam the Patriarch, who was good with the animals. There's Elijah the Prophet, who was fed by ravens. There's Eve the Matriarch, who I guess liked animals.
Wait. How many patron saints of ravens are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15. 15 saints for ravens.
Yeah,
how many saints do we need for each animal?
I don't know. They're not the patron saint of ravens. They're patron saints associated with ravens in some way.
Symbolized?
Yeah. Noah released a raven. Saint Anthony the Abbot did something. Saint Benedict did something else. Saint Boniface apparently defeated Odin, who likes ravens. Saint Columba of Iona was woken by ravens. I've been to Iona and seen his abbey, actually. Fun times. Saint Erasmus was fed by them. Saint Kevin had a blackbird lay an egg.
There's a Saint Kevin?
Yeah, Saint Gavin of Glen Alog. During one Lent, while he held his arms outstretched in prayer, a blackbird laid an egg in the Kevin's hand. He remained in that position in prayer until the baby bird hatched.
That's dedication.
Yeah, and then there's a few others, but Fixxxer will get mad at me. So, yeah, I feel like if there's that many Saints of Ravens, I mean, they're just like the Ravens are going to be torn. They can't fight the Saints. I mean, one of the Saints literally had one of their babies in his hand, and he just killed it there. Like, how could the Ravens fight that? How could they be so cruel? How could they be so hurtful? Fixxxer, tell me.
They can't. They just can't.
Exactly. So Saints win.
All right. Next up, another afternoon game. The Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. I think this got flexed or is getting flexed or no. I don't know.
Define flexed.
The time gets changed in order to promote a popular team.
Ooh, fun.
Which would be the Rams. I don't remember if it got flexed or not. It may not have.
Why are they popular? I thought that people were angry at them for leaving St. Louis.
No. That was well, yes, but they're popular because they're good. It was the Bengals Chiefs that got flexed. Anyways, Rams at 49ers. Anyone see the 49ers Packers game? Did you see that, Tulkas?
No.
49ers had the game in the bag, and then suddenly a penalty. Aaron Rodgers gets a second chance, and when he does that, he comes out with more wins than losses, and that's exactly what happened. That's what happened. Of course it happened. Packers get a call, Rodgers win, everybody gets depressed. But you got to give it to Beathard and the 49ers. Got to give them credit. They're playing pretty well despite the injuries to the team. Rams beat the Broncos 23-20. Goff finally had an off game, throwing for only 200 yards and an interception, no touchdowns. But Todd Gurley ran for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. When that happens, you're probably not going to lose. People are going to expect a blowout. But I don't be surprised if the 49ers make it a respectable game. I'm going with the Rams, though. I think they'll win. I just don't think it's going to be a blowout.
The Rams can fly.
They can? Yeah, sure.
So Rams win because they can fly.
Simple enough. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys are playing at the Washington Redskins. Dak had 180 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Zeke had 100 yards and 1 touchdown. Their offensive line wasn't perfect, but it's been an improvement. Dak is getting hit and rushed, putting the ball on the ground a couple times. Still, they put 40 on a good Jags defense and deserve credit for that. The Redskins beat the oh my God.
They beat the Pangers? What are the Pangers?
I have no idea. I was up literally for like 36 hours when I wrote this. So all typos. Isn't that funny? All typos should be forgiven.
Okay, Fixxxer TV, I forgive you.
Anyways, that should read Panthers. They beat the Panthers 23-17. AD had almost 100 yards. Their defense has been gobbling up turnovers, and that'll be key in this game. If they can get Dak, he'll cough up the ball, and if they can get to Dak, he'll cough up the ball, and the Skins will win. If Dak can keep it safe, Cowboys will win. I think I'm finally going to give the Cowboys a pick this week, and Diesel should be happy.
This is racist, but I think the Cowboys will win because, like, the Cowboys sort of dominated the West. Like, yeah, it was sad times.
Next up on the Sunday evening game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals choked against the Steelers last week. Burfict is only in his second game back, and he's already got a controversial hit. I think they decided not to fine or suspend him, but the players in this league are going to start getting pissed off about this guy. Don't be surprised if something happens in his next controversial hit. I don't know. We'll see. Their defense is playing pretty well, though, and they're going to need to against Kansas City. The Chiefs fell to the Patriots last week, but Mahomes is still putting up good numbers. This will probably be a high-scoring game. I think the Chiefs will be able to score on the Bengals, despite their good defense. Chiefs win.
Oh, this is a pretty tough one. I think that the Chiefs and Bengals have pretty similar strengths and weaknesses, but I don't know. Bengals are just powerful. I just don't think the Chiefs can get the kind of firepower needed to bring down a Bengal. Yeah, at times.
Makes sense. And moving on to the Monday night game, we have the New York Football Giants at the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan put up 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions in beating the Bucs last week. Their running game is still struggling, though, and their defense is second worst in the league in giving up points. The Giants, they look rough. Beckham Jr. is doing all right, I guess, and Barkley is a game changer, but I'm not sure what the hell this team is doing. I don't think Manning has it in him anymore, and head coach Shermer said he's got all the faith in the world in Manning, so I don't know, man. I'm not sure anybody else has any faith in Manning. You gotta wonder how.
I have faith in Manning. Peyton Manning.
This is Eli. Man. This is his brother Eli.
Oh, Eli Manning. He's our man.
But you gotta wonder how long Schumer's gonna stick with them. Well, probably the season, because I bet $100 you haven't heard of his backup, have you, Tulkas?
Alex Tanney? No, I have not heard of Alex Tanney.
Neither has anybody else in the football world. So, not good. I think Barkley will put up big numbers on the Falcons, both on the ground and in the air, but the Falcons' offense is too much for this Giants defense. Falcons win. And, Tulkas, before we move on, I have one thing to add to this podcast, and I wasn't sure where I was going to fit it, but it seems to be the best spot here to put it because it's about a former Giants player. Oh my God, I just deleted something. There we go. So it's about a former Giants player. This week in press conference, Bill Belichick was asked if he felt if Khalil Mack belonged in the same discussion as Lawrence Taylor. And he said no. He does not belong in the same discussion. And it appears to have pissed off a lot of people. And so one thing I've definitely noticed in sports is the younger generation of fans just don't know a lot about previous generations of players. And this is a perfect example of that. While I think that Khalil Mack is one of the best players in the game today, LT is one of the best ever. And he's not just one of the best football players ever. He was playing a different game than everyone else was playing. Players were legitimately terrified of this guy. He was so big and so strong that he would throw players around like they were dolls. When he hit people, they would just crumble under him. It was really strange to watch. And it's really difficult to compare players from different eras, at least in most sports. But one thing you can do with most sports in the modern era is to compare them to their own competition. And when I do that, I can think of maybe 8 athletes or so ever of any sport that fit this description, and one of them is Lawrence Taylor. And others I would throw in there would be like Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods, Jesse Owens, Serena Williams, Pele, Michael Phelps, Wilt Chamberlain, Mike Tyson, and that might be about it. And
the Viper. Also throw in the Viper.
Who's the Viper?
He's an Age of Empires 2 esports pro.
Oh. I might throw a few others in there like Bill Russell, Jim Brown, Usain Bolt. I don't know. But these people, when they're on stage, it was like they're playing a different game than everybody else. They knew what was going on, and everybody else was running around like chickens with their head cut off.
Ooh.
And it was obvious to any viewer, not just fans. And despite being a severely flawed person, LT was one of those athletes. So I kind of feel people offended that Mac isn't on the same level as LT, just never saw LT play. Anyways, I wanted to fit that in here somewhere, and that seemed like the best spot.
Grumpy little Fixxxer. So, I owe you $100?
Probably.
Okay, how would you like me to pay that? I don't.
Subscribe, and comment to my channel.
Me? But I've already liked, subscribed, and commented.
That's good enough. How about the Giants and the Falcons? Who do you think's going to win?
Wait, so I don't owe you $100 anymore?
No, you don't.
Oh, you gave me $100! This is the sweetest gift ever! Thank you, Fixxxer TV. I will never forget your kindness. Now I am in your debt. Okay, so the Eagles beat the Giants, and I expect the Falcons will be less favored than the Eagles, but they'll probably still be powerful enough to go scratchy the eyes and be all like scratchy, I don't know. So if the Falcons win, I think.
And not to mention the Falcons can always carry away the Giants' children.
Giddy. Well, they would need many Falcons to do so.
Well, I mean, there are 53 on the team.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Carry away the children.
All right, we're moving on to our featured game, which would be Sunday morning football at 9:30 a.m. Central Time, I think it is. Oh, my God. Is it Central Eastern? I don't even know. Hey, here we go. Tennessee Titans at the Los Angeles Chargers, but the game is being played in London at Wembley Stadium. I'm looking at the stadium here and the ticket prices. The cheapest ticket is $65, Tulkas, and the most expensive one is $378.
Why are the tickets being sold in American currency?
I don't know. This is Vivid Seats. I've never heard of Vivid Seats. I don't know if that's a London thing or what. But my guess is that the site has identified me as an American user due to my IP address and has adjusted their currency accordingly. That's my guess. So anyways, our featured game, we talk about the teams, how they got their names and their history and whatnot. And we're going to start with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans began in 1960 as the Houston Oilers. The team was moved to Tennessee in 1996, and the owner has been viewed as evil pretty much ever since. And not just by Texans. And trust me, the Texans hate Bud Adams. But he's pretty much considered one of the worst owners ever in any sport. So anyways, they were Tennessee Oilers for 2 years, and he decided he wanted to change the name. Some say he did it to avoid lawsuits by Houston, because apparently the Houston wanted to use the Oilers for another team or something, and they didn't want Tennessee to use it. I don't know if those were ever true or not, but anyways, he held a contest, and other names that were considered were the Copperheads, the Wranglers, the Tornadoes, the South Stars. Personally, I kind of like the Copperheads. I think that would have been a cool name. How about you, Tulkas?
Copperhead is the DC Comics villain, and I think he's kind of lame, so nah.
All right, your face is lame. But the Titans won because it signaled strength and heroism.
How are the Titans heroic? All they do is they destroy Atlantis, and then they destroy it again.
Don't look for logic in the NFL.
And they kill Krios, and they manipulate Castellier. How are they heroic? I that's not true. That's not fair. But in the good place, the Tennessee Titans are like the arch rivals of the Jacksonville Jaguars, so that's pretty cool.
Okay. The Chargers, also known to have one of the worst owners in sports, came into the league as the Los Angeles Chargers in the same year as the Oilers/Texans team, 1960. How about those apples?
That's a fun name.
After 1 year, they moved to San Diego, where they stayed until last year. In 2017, they returned to LA just 1 year after the Rams moved to LA. Again, a contest was held, and the owner opened up the entry for Chargers, and he stopped opening other entries because he loved the name so much back in 1960, by the way. Or it may have been 59. I don't remember. He loved the name so much, he just stopped opening up entries. They don't have many fans left, as they all hate the owner, like, passionately. This is reflected by their home games having more fans in the seats for the opposing team than they do. Rumor is that the owners discussed the viability of a Chargers team in LA this week on an informal basis, not official. Don't be surprised if they get moved again, maybe not definitely not this year. Maybe not next year, but perhaps a year after that. My money is that they're going to move to St. Louis, but the long shot is Mexico City. The NFL is looking to put a team in Mexico City, and this may be their excuse to do so. What do you mean, whoa?
That's like going to Mexico. That's so cool.
Well, the NFL is looking to do it. I don't think the owners are going to allow it, though. But either way, it's something that's probably going to become a hot topic in the next year or two or three.
So the Rams moved from St. Louis to Los Angeles?
Yes.
So then why would the Chargers move from Los Angeles to St. Louis?
Because reasons. Because they're not making any money in Los Angeles.
Well, then why... But...
And the owner moved from St. Louis to Los Angeles because he felt he could make more money there.
So...
The difference being that the Rams have a good team Well, no, that isn't the difference because the Chargers are a good team. It's shitty ownership. Let's just put it that way. It's shitty ownership.
You said a bad word.
Oh, I did. Anyways, let's talk about the game itself. The Titans, they got shut out by the Ravens. A normally good offensive line gave up 11 sacks and 11 tackles for loss. Those are insane numbers. Mariota was just 10 for 15 with 117 yards. They ran the ball only 14 times for 55 yards. A total of 172 yards on offense. You're not going to beat anyone with those numbers, especially not the Chargers. Melvin Gordon had 120 yards rushing and 3 TDs as the Chargers clomped the Browns. I fully expect them to do the same to the Titans. Chargers win at home in front of the Titans crowd.
They clomped. There's a word for you. Clomped.
Yep.
Yeah. So wait. So I thought he said that the Browns would beat the Chargers.
What?
I thought he said that the Browns would beat the Chargers last week.
Did you or did I?
I thought I did. Let's see. Browns.
If only we had a spreadsheet where we could keep track of this. We both picked the Chargers, Tulkas.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Yeah, I was right. So, yeah, I think the Chargers are gonna charge at the Titans' ankles, and they're gonna like knock them over, and the Titans are gonna like fall, and then like the only worry is that they might fall on the Chargers. Hopefully they don't, and then the Titans can't charge the Chargers. It's such a powerful charge. So I reckon that the Chargers will be victorious. Woo!
I agree.
LCAC wins. Woo!
Yep, I can't type. 1 hour's sleep in the past 36 hours or so, Tulkas.
No.
Anyways, I think that does it for this podcast for this week. It was a little bit messy, but I can edit out all the messy parts so you guys can see a nice, clean podcast. That's how it works. That's how it works. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.